Good day. Today I'm going to be discussing chapter 4 of Spring, and I'm here with my navigator Ulrich.
Hello, I will be the navigator for this session today.
Cool. Cool, yeah. So, chapter 4, working with non relational data. So, in this chapter, the source code we're working with, we're connecting our application to MongoDB. Right, so I'm just going to mainly cover that, how we did that, how the application works in terms of interacting with the MongoDB database. So yeah. So yeah, covering MongoDB. This is like how the application works so far. So you can see it starts off with the HTML pages, then the controllers run, then the domain objects, right? So like your models, like your taco order, ingredient, repositories which interact with our database, Mongo database over here, and then goes back to the controller and the HTML view. Cool. So just to show how this works so far in chapter 4. Sorry. Cool. So here I have the home page. Go to design. I can go create my taco. And submit the taco. Put in the details. Let's see. Submit the order, takes me back to the home page. So, because I submitted the order and everything, now that data is going to be saved to MongoDB. So if I come here, you can see all the ingredients, right, that are initially loaded when the application starts are over here. Right, all the ingredients that I can choose from in order to create my taco. Then here, if I refresh, I can just see the most recent taco that I created and that I ordered, right? That I ordered. So this is my taco order that just happened right now that I showed you. It's saved here to this collection as a document in MongoDB. You can see all the details, address, credit card details, all of that. The name of the taco, see all the data that is essential is added here, right? As well as the ID, because it takes the data in the form of an ID. So you can see the ID of the taco order over here, and the date and all of that. Cool. So let's see how that works. So in order to connect my application to MongoDB, first things I had to do was in my pom.xml, which deals with dependencies that help me work with specific packages in order to run my application. With MongoDB specifically, first this dependency that I inputted here, Spring Boot Starter Data MongoDB. This is going to help me connect with MongoDB. Then I place this dependency, Flapdoodle. What this does is it helps me run tests initially. So it just helps me run like specific tests for my application when it comes to connecting with MongoDB. So let's see what it does exactly. So what FlapDoodle does is it gives my Spring Boot app a real MongoDB database that runs inside the project automatically, without installation, without external MongoDB server, with no Docker and no manual setup. So it's like sort of like a test database, just to test the interaction between my application and the database itself. So when you run tests or even in your app, it configured FlapDoodle. So it downloads MongoDB binaries, starts lightweight MongoDB instance in the background, lets Spring Data connect to it, and it shuts it down automatically when the app stops running. So yeah, it's just to run tests when it comes to MongoDB. So that's what this dependency does that I've inputted over here. So yeah, then here we have Spring Boot starter test. So over here I have the main application where I'm running the program. So basically here, data loader, this runs after the app starts. Straight after the app starts, what happens is data loader runs and it's gonna preload the data. Where it's gonna preload it into MongoDB because we connected to it now. So it preloads, as you can see, these ingredients. How it loads all these ingredients automatically is mainly because of this method, which initially has this run method, which loads all the ingredient objects, right? All these ingredient objects are loaded into repo. How does that work? It uses the save method. So it inserts default ingredients into MongoDB, and it ensures the app has data when it starts. So when we start our application, there's already data to work with, which is the ingredients we can choose from in order to create our tuple. So it uses repo.save, and it's going to save the ingredient object. As you can see, ID, name, the type, it saves that to repo. Repo belongs to the ingredient repository, which interacts with our database. That initially allows the data to be added to this ingredient collection. So yeah, that's what happens immediately when we start the application. Here we have this tuple model, which initially holds the structure of our data. Tuple order holds the structure of our data as well. Here you can see ID. In order to, it comes in the form of an ID, so it takes, MongoDB takes that data as the ID. And yeah, so then we have ingredients, which holds the structure of our data for ingredients, and you can see we have ID there because it takes the data in the form of an ID. Then the controllers over here, but just to emphasize the repositories, because this is initially what interacts with our MongoDB database. So here we have the ingredient repository. We import CRUD repository, which is an interface. So what we want to do is ingredient repository must extend CRUD repository, so we can use this interfaces method or this classes methods. What this method provides, or what this class provides, it provides methods that help us interact with our MongoDB database initially. So like saving our data to our database, updating data, what's this? Adding data, removing data, deleting data. This interface provides those specific methods. So when we extend from this, we don't even have to write the boilerplate code. It already has, it's auto configured those methods, and we can use them initially when we wanna modify the database. Same with order repository. So MongoDB repository interface for tuple orders. So this is specifically for the tuple order documents, right? So this here is for the ingredients, this is for the orders. So Spring Data auto creates all CRUD methods at runtime. no implementation class needed. Spring wires everything for you. So it's initially just inheriting from CRUD repository, and it is basically using the methods to add data for. So for instance, if you create a taco order, so once I create my taco order, what happens is the taco order gets saved here. That gets added because of this order repository over here, interacting with the database by using this specific classes method. And yeah, so it takes the form of taco order and it returns the string. So this would represent the ID that the database takes in, and then this is the object essentially. So yeah, that's basically how it works. As you can see, the taco orders are saved to MongoDB because we managed to connect this to our application. Cool. That's a summary of chapter 4.